Good morning, guys. This is my clicker. I guess it's going to swap soon. So we're going to talk about B2B software. And I can see already in your face, right? B2B software can be pretty boring, right? We're not curing cancer. We're not solving transportation issues. But we're still onto something pretty big I can show you. More boring than B2B software? Perhaps analytics. And guess what? This is exactly the category we are on at ContentSquare. Guys, ready for the slides? Perfect. By the way, this is not an ego, right, problem. This is just that this is the way we design our logo, but the company is ContentSquare, and it's probably more important. Now, in a boring environment like analytics and B2B software, if you ever come to one of our ContentSquare offices, you will actually realize that people are passionate. People are passionate for one single reason. And seen from the outside, it doesn't look like this, but I can tell you if you see the energy which is inside this company, it's incredible. Because this company has been actually onto something pretty big. Something pretty big because we were born in 2012. We started to sell our B2B SaaS platform in 2015. That was the year when we passed the $1 million bar. And since then, we're actually reaching now 50, so it's pretty in 4 years, which is a pretty incredible growth. And again, I'd like to say it's because we are smart. It's not the case at all. We just have passionate people about solving one problem I'm going to tell you about. May I just poll the audience for a second about who is a Photoshop user? Who's using Photoshop in this room? I'm sure there's a few of you. 1, 2, 3. Now, who is an Instagram user? There you go. Nearly half of the audience is raising the hand on that. Now, I want you to draw the parallel between those two things. Photoshop is doing a lot for digital photography, but Instagram has been doing even more for digital photography. Not because it's a better tool, but because it can be used by much more people. And this is exactly what we try and do at ContentSquare with analytics. Analytics, if you ask into whatever company which has websites and apps, how many people are using analytics solutions, web analytics, they're going to raise their hand, you're going to have a few people. And it's been the same for the last 10 years. But if you ask into a ContentSquare client how many people are using our solution to actually answer interesting questions with data, you're going to have, in average, 5 times the average number of users you have on analytics. And this is what we do. We have a solution which plugs into a website and explains what people like and what people don't like, what people think about the experience you're providing, and we guide you through the changes you've got to make this experience better. Why is that important? It's important for this. Because now, if you believe people are just buying your product and services, you're probably wrong. You're not totally wrong. Obviously, it counts. But eventually, they're also buying their experience you're going to give them. And the experience is complex these days. The level of expectations set by Uber, by Amazon, by Apple has raised the expectations so much that you cannot have a mobile site that doesn't work. Now, OK, sites work today. But how do you get them better? Do you need to crawl through analytics reports and tables and graphs to be able to do that? Or wouldn't there be a simpler way to do this? And this is what all those companies have been doing with us since actually we grew ContentSquare. And as I'm a guy that believes that a picture is 1,000 words, but actually a demo is 1,000 pictures, I would like to take you through now, if we can switch to the other screen, how ContentSquare works in real life. Ready? Cool. This is the NOAH site. Let me first show you with Jörg, which is in the back, what we capture. Analytics mostly capture clicks. 99% of an interaction is before or after a click. So this is why we capture the scroll, we capture the hovers, we capture every information. In average, 40 times the data a traditional analytics solution captures. Even when people haven't yet clicked, we already have thousands of anonymized information on them. They hover, even clickable, even non-clickable area we capture. That way we know where people are frustrated and get the information. What do we do with this information? When you have an analytics solution, you have to do what people call a tagging plan. You have to define what you want to track. What if there was a technology that allows you to do that without even declaring what you want to track? This is what we do. Our machine learning algorithm and neat pieces of technology glued together analyze the site and retrieve every single area of the site. It understands a menu is a menu, an image is an image, a call to action is a click to action, and absorbs that and interactions which are linked to it. And that, again, without configuration. project that used to take months in terms of configuration can now happen actually, I would tell you, in real life into pre-sales engagements. Now you're going to say, that's great, you have data, but everybody has data. What do we do with data? How do you guys make it simpler to interpret this data to make decisions? Let's move on to the site of one of our clients. EasyJet recently changed their travel widget that you can see here. And again, correct tagging is complex. Instantaneously, thanks to ContentSquare, thanks to a plugin which is directly available through Chrome, we can actually give you information on what's happening on the site. You can see here I'm selecting the click rate, which is the information I want. I don't have to configure anything. I'm directly going into my site, and my site becomes my dashboard. Directly onto the site itself, I can retrieve all the KPIs of performance which are interested to me. So this new widget that we've designed, is it triggering? It should be more than 50% of the clicks that are designed there. Bang, nearly there. The UX that we've chose for this widget is actually now capturing nearly 50% of the clicks. For a site which vocation is dual, both inspiring and at the same time booking flight, this is an objective which has been made by the product team. Now, if you go at the bottom of the page, you see that most of the travel sites now are using this information actually to provide a little bit of marketing about destinations. This is very expensive real estate on the site, especially if it's mobile. You know what? I'm going to give the marketing guys probably not a good rank here, because the content they've put in here is only capturing an infinitesimal portion of the clicks. This is probably not good. Something that usually you might have wait for a day, 2 days to be able to get this information is now available in a click. Interesting, right? Jörg, you want to take us to, let's do Clark's. Oh yes, let's talk about revenue per click. Little clicks doesn't always mean low performance. As we are integrated with the e-commerce engine, we can retrieve actually the conversion per click. So actually, you see that the guy that actually has been battling internally to defend that the rental car upgrade or the rental car upsell should be placed upper on the site, now he or she has the data to be able to defend that. Something that, again, was subject to debates, was subject to opinions, was subject to even data science research in some cases, and sometimes didn't even have the data, is now available in a click. Clark's is one of our flagship clients. We love those guys. They moved their organization to Agile. If you ever call or meet Craig Harris, I recommend that you connect with him on LinkedIn about what they did with ContentSquare. They now make every single decision about the website content thanks to our solution. They regularly test the menus. Menus are changing. You need to change them because it's not winter, it's spring, not because it's spring, it's summer. You have to change that depending on also personalization algorithms. Thanks to ContentSquare, they can immediately see the impact of the changes they are making. The data is available in less than an hour, which allows them actually during the sale period to also measure the performance of the deals they are proposing. Here you can see I can go down to the single menu level and understand why should I take some menus down or take some menus up. I can make those decisions onto how we organize the information significantly better. They are redesigning their product page. This is the exercise they've been through 6 months ago. And they started with an analysis on how people are interacting. Those questions are super hard to answer if you've got just your traditional analytics. Here you can see the level of interaction onto the different clicks. It's actually the conversion rate per click. So you see that 13% of the people that click on the color actually eventually convert. But actually this top-rated filter here, which is using precious space on the page, is actually attracting 0% conversion. Take it out. Now you eventually have the data to make the decisions. Cool. I don't have time to show you more, but I invite you to come to our site. Obviously, we can show you that it works also on dynamic pages, because we integrate with whatever technologies you might have. It works on mobile sites, on apps, and on traditional desktop sites. It even works with infinite scrolls, as you can see here that Jörg is showing. We had reserved something on To Go Pro, but if you want to stop by our booth, I would be happy to show that to you. I would like to leave you with one sentence. One sentence and actually one number, 12%. 12% is the average conversion increase during the first year that we see for ContentSquare customers starting to use our technology and our customer success guys are actually tracking very carefully the attribution of the changes that we recommend thanks to the technology. And it allows them to obviously make the decisions smartly better, to optimize their roadmap, and obviously to find those snippets of user experience that are needed today to make your experience seamless in a world, obviously, where experience counts. Look at this GoPro example, for example. The bottom of the page of GoPro, which is seen by probably less than 12% of the people, if I remember well the data. Actually, if it was seen by 100%, it would capture 25% of the clicks. GoPro hadn't realized, and this is a change they actually have in their next release of the website, that nearly 12%, had this area of support be exposed at the top of the page, it would capture 12% of the clicks. So now people which are GoPro customers and going into the GoPro side, they have to scroll down to the bottom of the page to go to the support area, although that would attract 12% of the clicks. Immediate insight, instantaneous installation, a game changer in terms of how you do analytics. Still, 100% of our clients are using traditional analytics solution, but when it turns to experience, they go to ContentSquare. Thank you.